Well, hello, everybody. This is Scott McMeans with the Business Spotlight. I am here today with Bill Grulich of Werner G Smith Inc. And I'm excited to learn a little bit about his business, what it is they do, and the culture they've created to make such a successful business. So, Bill, as an introduction to the audience, let us know a little bit about yourself and about the business that is Werner G Smith Inc.
My wife and I came in 2016. I was on the board of directors in 2011 after Wally died, and Wally was DL's father, my wife's father, and Werner G. Smith is her grandfather. And Werner started the company in 1912. He moved to this location in 1950, and we've been in this location since 1950.
Wow.
So that's the start of the company. And it used to be called the Warner G. Smith Company. He sold it to Archer Daniel Midland in 1929. And then he had a falling out with ADM in 1949 and said, I'm taking my marbles and going down the street. And so he opened at this location.
Wow. Okay. So you've been at that location since 1950. That's a number of years.
That's correct.
What is it about what is it about that location that has held you there for this long? And how have you been able to sustain a business for 70 some years in what most people would say a very interesting industry? So walk us through 1950 to now. Don't have to go through year by year, but for the last 70 some years, you've had some success. I'm curious what is so special about that spot?
It is interesting. There were a lot of breweries along here. There's a river actually that runs under our property. It's actually the Walworth Run that runs under our property. They have a 25-foot culvert that holds all the water and it flows into the Cuyahoga River. So I don't know why Warner chose this spot other than it had a tank farm. So he had a large tank farm. That's what he was looking for. So when we've
Perfect.
stayed here over the years, we've been through. We seem to adapt as the times change. He used to be into sand molds with I'm trying to think of what it was, the core oil. And since core oil is not really used that much, that was in the foundries. You'd see the smokes with the foundries. They don't use that process anymore. So we're no longer really into core oil, but we are into seed oils, which are canola, soybean, linseed,
And that included tongue oil.
tongue oil, right? And tongue oil was interesting because Warner actually opened an office in China so that he could figure out and beat the other tongue oil suppliers in the States. He would get a call from his partners in China, and they'd say, "Hey, okay, this is what we can sell the oil to you for, Warner." And so he'd be able to beat everyone because he had an office over there in China.
You want to explain what it is?
Tongue oil is a wood oil that you put. It was like the predecessor to polyurethane. It's
Yes.
really, it's really stinky, but it's a very cool oil. Instead of having to sand everything, you got a little scratch, you can just go over it with the tongue oil and fill it in. But it is kind of smelly. We put it on we used it on our floor in the living room, I think, yeah.
The whole downstairs.
The whole downstairs except for the kitchen,
Right.
which we used.
Okay.
So that we've been in that. We were in whale oil until 1978. In 1972, whale oil was outlawed, and so we had to get rid of all of our whale oil by 1978, which previous administrations were able to do that without any problem. So we were also into can rolling, which was putting the colors on that. We didn't do it here, but we had the formula to do it. And then it was a waste product from BASF BASF changed their formula and said, hey, we won't be able to be supplying you with those railroad cars full of that formula. So that went away. And so we've been doing a lot of different things with seed oils and fish oils. So go ahead.
No, Bill, would you say that seed oils are now the primary product that you guys do?
Yes, would be
Okay.
seed oils. Soybean oil. We do what is called blowing it or oxidizing the oil. And then we also polymerize the oils in kettle. It's called kettle-bodied or sometimes reactors. We use that term interchangeably. So we have large reactors down here that will be able to heat it up to maybe 585 degrees. Maximum heat would be 600 degrees. That's heated by natural gas right now. So
Okay.
We do a lot with waxes.
yeah, we also do waxes. We have that's made out of plant material or fish oils. So we do a lot of that. The waxes are an interesting thing. It's not petroleum based. It's all seed based or
Plant-based, yeah.
Yep. So
One of the things you made comment to that I want to just touch base on. You said over the years you have adapted with the times, and you've taken us through a quick summary of what you have done. And I've heard and I've written down everything from tongue oil, whale oil, seed oils, waxes, fish oils. You have a long 70 some, actually from 1912 to now, you have this tremendous history and you've navigated the times with different things that you've adapted to. I'm curious, what has been some of the biggest challenges you've had in those times when you had to adapt?
old equipment was
Okay.
we're going to think of it, it's 1950s technology. Wally was a very good NASA Lewis Research Center had said, hey Wally, you want a kettle? It's a 750-gallon kettle. And he's like, okay, we only used it like 6 months. He's like, okay, I'll buy that from you. So he would pick it up, and so that kettle is our main kettle for making waxes.
Commodity prices.
Yeah. Commodity
So
prices have gone up, so that's a challenge. Getting good people has been a challenge. So commodity prices they've gone, now they're starting to come down a little bit, but they went up 125% in some cases. The fish oils, if it's a bad catch, menhaden oil, we use that oil, and that has gone up more than 100%. That's gone up probably 200 or 300%. So that's been very expensive. Herring oil is another one that's gone up, and these have been, if they can't find the fish, it's a problem. So our customers say, wow, you really raised it. It's like, no, we're just passing that on to you. We can't afford to, give our product away. We were just talking this morning about a customer in Germany that we have to let them know that the menhaden oil has gone way up, and we just sent them an email to let them know because they just ordered some Defloc Z3, which is a deflocculant, and we're one of their 60 most important suppliers, and so we want to let them know that this is going up. And
That's used in industrial ceramics.
right, industrial ceramics is
Okay.
what it's used in.
So you made comment you have customers in Germany, right? What is your
Yes,
geographic coverage? Do you have customers all around the globe?
we do.
Yeah.
We have our biggest customers in terms of outside of the States is Mexico and Canada, Germany, the UK, China is a small one, Taiwan, Korea, Japan.
Wow.
So we're all over. So
Do you do is a lot of your business here in the States as well?
oh yes, we
Okay.
also have customers in the States.
Who would be the largest customer in the United States?
I
Is
can't
there
tell
somebody? Oh, that's
you.
fine.
You have NDA, so I can't tell you. You're just going to have to believe me. Just
I'm assuming it's a good relationship and one that you don't
yes,
want to put at risk. So I appreciate your candor. I'm sure your customer does as well. Are there a lot of customers that you do business with that don't want that, they don't want the relationship to be known because they do something very similar to you?
I don't know why they have us sign non-disclosure agreements,
Yeah,
but
when we first came here, we asked all of our customers, what do you use with our products? We love your product, but we can't tell you what we do because we have NDAs, so it's a big
No worries. It's no
catch.
worries.
We
But
had two interesting customers. I'm just going to tell you this for 2023. They decided that it was getting too expensive, so they were going to go find someone else.
yep.
They looked around, and both of those customers have come back to us and said, hey, we're gonna be buying for you in 2023. They had cut back tremendously, and now they're back up to what we used to sell them a lot. So that's
Bill,
neat. Yes.
why is it that they came back? This is a great lead-in question to what I want to get into as far as how you separate yourself from the market and your competition. So they left because it was too expensive, but they
Right.
came back for what reason?
They couldn't find anyone to make it
quality.
with the quality that we make it. They couldn't find anyone. One thing that we have is we operate 24/5, so we have 3 shifts. Because some of these formulas will take 12 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours, and in some cases 48 hours. So we have to have it, we will run Monday through Friday at those 24-hour shifts. We can also go to weekends, but we haven't gone to weekends because we haven't had the need to do that. So it's
Sure.
really quality. We have somebody checking that formula. It's not like you can just turn on a computer and say, okay, and leave it. They have to constantly go out and check it maybe on the hour. As they're getting closer to where it's getting finished, they may check it every 15 minutes to be sure that the formula is correct. So that we test it in the lab, and everything that we test here. Some tests that we can't do that a couple of our customers have asked us to do certain tests that we don't have the equipment to do. So we have to send that out to get it tested by another company.
Okay.
So it's the quality that we can do. We say what we're going to do. So if unless we have some catastrophic event, we deliver on time or deliver before the time that we say we are going to do. So we don't overpromise, we underpromise, and then, make sure that we deliver it when we said we're going to deliver it.
And I think that is one of the best things you can do to solidify a relationship with a customer is, one, provide them with a quality product, and two, give it to them when you promised they would have it.
Right.
What else would you say, Bill, separates what you have at WSG or WGS versus somebody else? Is there anything else that really separates you from the marketplace?
There was a large customer. We have worked with, if we had a fire, like before DL and I were here, we had a fire and we had to find a competitor to make our product. They could not make our product. They did it. They tried to, but they could not make it. They just couldn't make it. They couldn't do the quality that we needed to have. So it's that quality is so important to our customers.
Yeah. And I would assume that the people that are in-house working for you are a big reason why you have such a strong quality product going out the door. Walk me through how you hire the people that are the right person for the right seat on your bus, right? A lot of companies have a big challenge, not only getting the right people in their company, but putting the right person in the right seat. So knowing that quality is such a huge component of what you do, Bill, how would you describe what is the culture? What is it that attracts the right talent to you?
That's an interesting question. We've used Community Service Alliance they take men that are formerly homeless and they have to be clean and sober for at least 6 months, and they take them and put them into various jobs. And so we've hired some really good people through Community Service Alliance that were formerly homeless or drug addicts or maybe had mental problems. And we've used that program. So that's one area that we've used. We've also used Indeed and I'm trying to think of it, and sometimes placement services, but the quality, it's been tough. That's been tough finding good quality people.
Sure.
It's just been tough. And we found this not just with us, but a lot of our people that are in the chemical business having the same problem that we are also having. Everybody's having that same problem.
And that's why I asked the question, right? It's one of those lessons that I think most people watching the program want to know. How do other people find the right people to fit their culture? How do you find the right talent to do the jobs you need done? So I appreciate the work you're doing with Community Service Alliance. Sounds like an excellent program. And Indeed and using other placement services work really well. Is what I want to have an understanding too, and maybe this will be a good entree for people interested in joining your group. What is the culture like at the organization? How would you describe some of the values and some of the culture elements that make your business work the way it does?
Sure. To give you an example, when COVID hit 2020, we thought we're an essential business, so we had to stay open. But what we did was supply every Friday during COVID 2020, 2021. We supplied meals on Friday for everyone so that we would be able to, we care about our employees. That's why DL and I are here, is because we care about our employees, and we offer good health benefits. We offer vacation, dental, all that good stuff. We currently have a pension plan, but we're switching over to a 401k. So we're also doing that. So there's a lot of things that you can offer people that really help. We also celebrate birthdays every month. We're not a huge company. We have 17 of us here, so we know everyone. It's not like, it's Louis on the third shift. It's not somebody was on the third shift who we don't know. We know everybody, and we're, it's like, Lou's on the third shift, and we like Lou. So
Good.
we don't want to.
Cute baby.
Yeah, he is cute. He has a cute baby. It's not baby.
I love that.
Yeah.
No, that's good. The fact that you know people and you have that connection with them, that's very helpful.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Louis is a good
walk around almost.
Good.
We both of us walk around, and it freaked when we first started doing that. It freaked the employees out because they thought we were checking up on them, and it's like, no, we're just trying to see is there anything you need? What's happening in the plant? Is there a problem? Is there, do you have any suggestions? So we appreciate their input, because I'm not a kettle operator, and they're going to know what they need to fix or what needs to be fixed, or, hey, I've been working on this and I've had a problem with whatever. So we did some things, like, for instance, we have on our blowing reactor, there were valves and stuff done in the 50s that were up high that you had to get a ladder to be able to turn it on and off. And we're like, that doesn't make sense. Maybe we should move that. So we asked our maintenance person to, make a plan out. And so he did. And we've moved all the valves down so that everyone can reach them, as opposed to getting a ladder where somebody can get hurt. We don't want to. We want to take care of our employees.
That makes complete sense.
The other thing that COVID did is we have Zoom meetings, and we've continued 3 Zoom meetings, Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the morning, with some of the staff, with the people that are running the kettles, and people that are running the warehouse. And so we have those 3 meetings a week are good for information and getting information out. And the same thing, we're on Zoom for 40 minutes, and as soon as 40 minutes, it shuts off. And DL is really good at getting that to work.
Good.
And another interesting story is we have a board of directors, And we were at a meeting at one time, and it was, it shut off at 40 minutes. People were being verbose, and so that was okay with the board of directors that it shut off in 40 minutes. It was okay with it.
Sometimes it's good to limit the discussion, that way you get to it. You don't have to worry about any fluff, right?
Yep. The other thing that we're doing is we're working with a number of companies on new formulas. So we are working with a formula that will replace nasty chemicals with fracking with really nice chemicals. Also with wind turbines, we're working on a formula that will replace the petrochemicals that go into the wind turbines, and that when they leach out, it leaches down to the ground, goes into the ground. So that's another formula that we're working on right now. I can't get into too much detail because of NDAs.
I wouldn't want you to, but I
Good.
like the idea. And again, I'm going to go back to adapting with the times. You have found a new opportunity to be better at serving your clients by providing new formulas. And I like what you say, nice chemicals, because that's what we're all looking for. So I applaud you for that.
Right.
In addition to that, I'm going to ask you, what is some of, if not the single most thing you are proud of at WGS?
This way, the single most thing that we're proud of is bringing it up to the latter part of the 20th century. Because when we came here, there was, I think, one computer or two computers. Her brother had a computer, and the lab had a computer, and that was the only thing, because previous administrations thought that, electric typewriters. Now, her father was kind of like, he was a good guy, and he worked up on just till shy of his 91st birthday until he passed away. So he didn't pass away at his desk, but he was an interesting fellow. He was always looking. He got some of our boilers that are no longer working. He got from Case. It's like, hey, Wally, we got these really boilers. Hey, I'll take all three of them. So, and these are big boilers. They're not small boilers. They're very large boilers. And they used one of those up until 2010, and then it bit the dust. And so he had to pay some money to get a new boiler. So
it's good to know that you've upgraded the process, you've upgraded the system so that it is in the 21st century. That's
exactly.
nice to know. So if I can go back real quick, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges of owning and operating a small business? You've given me a couple already, right? The commodity pricing, having good people, and sometimes your suppliers aren't necessarily all that great when it comes to timing and quality of product. Are there any other challenges of running a small business that you can kind of tell us how you navigated, so our audience can learn, okay, this is something maybe I can learn from?
One of the things that we had a customer that was, they had convinced us to go to 90 days, where they would pay us in 90 days. And then they had one outstanding bill that was $45,000 that went to 145 days. And they said, we'll never go over 120 days, because that would be a loan. So they had said, well, there were two bags, 45,000, there were two bags on that one load, and they were broken. And so what we did a thing when DL and I first came here, was all of our wrap has our logo on it, so that it's not a clear wrap. That really helps. And then we take pictures of every single load that goes out of here, so that when that company said, hey, we're holding this up because there were two bags that were $45,000 is not a lot for that company. It's a multi-billion-dollar company, but $45,000 is a lot for us. So we were able to show them the pictures that we took, and we said, this is what it looked like when it went into the truck. You will see that there were no bags that were broken on it. And so that immediately said, oh, okay, we'll send that off to you. And within a week, we had our $45,000. That was a very simple, fix. put our logo on all the wrap and make sure that we take pictures of everything that goes out. Because what was happening is truckers would they have wrap and they would wrap it up and say, this was leaking when I picked this up. And it's like, well, you can't do that if it has our logo on it. So that was
Yeah.
a simple thing, and it really did help us get our money quickly, because we said we can't do that. And we also put them on, you have to pay when we get it. We said we can't do this anymore. You can't hold the money back. We're tired of this. Because we're never catching up. And this is cash flow is important to us. We can't
Yeah.
be the huge multi-billion-dollar bank. We can't be that company's bank that's a billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar company, and they're using we're a small business, and we can't do that anymore.
It's interesting that a simple change in your terms helps you establish not only your cash flow, but the respectability of your customer, in that they know better now. They can't challenge you on this, because not only did you change your terms, Bill, it seems like you put a really solid process in place that says you can't come back after us because of a damaged product. We know it went out and it was solid.
Right.
We took pictures of it. We would not have allowed this to go out our door if it was damaged. So
Right.
Our system is pretty good. Our expectation is you pay within 90 days. I think that's solid.
Well, they have to
I think
pay. Everyone usually pays in 30 days. It was just
Okay.
that one company that we allowed that to happen, because they are a large customer, but we said no more. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I think a lot of customers or a lot of small businesses could learn a lot from the idea of protecting yourself from your customers. And it's not to say that anybody is looking for an adversarial relationship with their customers. What I'm suggesting, based on your experience, is as a business that is trying to earn money, it is in your best interest to protect your product when it goes out the door, so you can, in fact, get the money that you're valued at. I think
Right.
that's a great lesson for people to learn.
Yep.
With respect to this interview, you and DL have been great. There's a ton of information, and I really appreciate you taking the time to be here. There's a lot of things that we learned, a lot of information you gave out, and I appreciate you spending the time with me. Is there any last final words or story you'd want to say before we close this out?
Anything else, DL?
I don't know, one of the things that we work on is, I hate the phrase, but I'll use it anyway, low-hanging fruit. When we got here, nothing was digitized, and we set up a whole bunch of systems using Google workspace platforms.
Google Drive.
Google
Okay.
And at that time, for the first time, we also could set up spreadsheets that everybody in the company can access. So everybody can see many important things that they weren't aware of before.
Right.
And everybody has different access to these spreadsheets, so that people like me, so that I'm not making mistakes. I can see everything, but I can't always change everything. And I shouldn't be able to make changes on everything either.
It
So
makes sense.
gave everybody a lot more buy-in and general knowledge about how we do business.
Mhm.
And that was exceedingly inexpensive. We don't deal with servers. Nobody's got their work information stuck only on a laptop.
Right.
It's interesting. You're making comment about one of the more core values that companies need to really start instilling into their organization, and that is clear, candid, transparent communication. If everybody is on board with the same level of information that they need to perform their job effectively, guess what? They perform their job effectively. So
Right.
giving them the tools to do that is a very solid, very proactive thing, and I appreciate you doing that.
Well,
I
we
hate to do this. We are running out of time. We have
Okay.
come up on the end of the Zoom call, as you said. So, Bill, DL, I want to thank you for your time, and everybody, please click, learn as much as you can. Watch this again and again because there's valuable information. We'll see you all next time on the Business Spotlight.